What's up, everyone? Welcome back to King Anime Review, and for this video, I'll be reviewing episode 228 of Boruto Naruto Next Generations, titled Kawaki's Path to Becoming a Ninja. Now, this episode, basically the purpose of it was to get Kawaki to befriend people in the village and see how he works with other teams. And I really like how this episode played out. And so it started off with basically Boruto and Himawari arguing over who was going to go wake up Kawaki. And they played rock, paper, scissors. And Boruto was the one who lost, so he went to wake up Kawaki. He initially didn't want to. He not to ask Boruto to do it, and he recommended Himawari do it. So that's how the argument started. And then when Boruto woke up Kawaki used his scientific his body modifications and almost hit Boruto, but he was like halfway. I mean, he was like still kind of, he was just barely up basically. And Boruto said, "Hey, are you trying to kill me?" So, I think this scene is very similar to the Kawaki and Shinki scene. So for those people who was acting like Kawaki is super weak because they think Shinki beat him, even though Kawaki was never going all out against Shinki. This is another one of those scenes that's very similar to the Shinki scene. Like imagine if I just want to bring this up because I don't like how Kawaki haters was downplaying Kawaki from that Shinki scene, because you could literally do the same thing with Boruto in this scene. Like this is I'm the type of person, I'll make the logical argument because, I think logically. I'll make the logical argument and say, oh, this wasn't really a fight. Neither one of them were going all out. That's the same thing I'll say about the Kawaki versus Shinki little thing. But imagine if somebody, what they were doing, what the Kawaki haters were doing to Kawaki, based off of that Shinki scene. Imagine if somebody did that to Boruto and said, oh, Boruto, he was scared to go wake up Kawaki and he said Kawaki almost killed him or whatever. Imagine, it's like you could literally do the same thing with this scene. So people need to drop that whole Kawaki and Shinki thing because it's very irrelevant. Kawaki wasn't going all out against Shinki, and based off of power scaling, if he was going all out against Shinki, he would have absolutely killed Shinki and one-shotted him if he was going all out and if he was bloodlusted. But yeah, so I just want to mention that. Now, I did complain in my last review about the idea of Kawaki needing to go on missions to become a genin, and I like how they did things in this episode because basically it was Naruto's idea. Shikamaru, who's been one of the most critical people of Kawaki, he basically said that we acknowledge your contributions to the village, and he also acknowledged the fact that Kawaki played a big part in defeating Kara. So I'm happy that they're at least acknowledging Kawaki's accomplishments, his feats. They're still kind of downplaying it a little bit because he didn't just help beat Kara. He literally saved the entire world. And that's more than just contributing to the village. That's contributing to the entire world, the entire world's safety. Because if Kawaki wasn't there, basically Kawaki saved the world in general. And plus he prevented Ishiki from putting another karma seal on him. And Ishiki was a huge threat to the entire world. Had he revived, that would have been another huge threat who could have possibly ended the entire world or destroyed it. And that was his goal, actually. So, yeah, Kawaki, yeah, he literally saved the entire world. So I'm happy they're at least acknowledging some of his achievements. Granted, they're still kind of downplaying some of his achievements, but at least they're acknowledging the fact that he's far beyond ninja genin level. I think, let me go back to the exact dialogue, because I'm pretty sure Shikamaru said something about, I know Shikamaru or Naruto said something about, we already know your skills. And they basically said his skills is already above genin level anyways, which is pretty obvious. But yeah, they basically acknowledged his skills, and that was the case with that. Now, Naruto basically, it was Naruto's idea, and he basically wanted Kawaki to do this in order to, befriend people in the village. And I guess that was the main reason why he wanted him to go on missions and stuff. Now, I'm okay with it to an extent. It makes a little bit of sense. Now, granted, based off of everything that Kawaki's done, his achievements alone should be enough for him to be promoted to being a Jonin. Somebody tried to debate me about this on Twitter, but the thing is, and they were actually wrong because they misremembered what happened to Neji during the Shippuden arc when they showed what happened And when they show basically how, Neji and the other people, how they took the second tuning exams, their second tuning exams, and everybody was promoted to being a tuning in those tuning exams. All of the Konoha, 12 who were in the tuning exams, obviously Sasuke and Naruto wasn't in them, but everybody else from the Konoha 12, they got promoted to being a tuning aside from Neji. Neji got promoted to being a jonin. He actually skipped a rank because of his contributions during that arc and the fact that he saved Gaara, I'm pretty sure. But anyways, yeah, Tsunade promoted him. She actually literally skipped him above the tuning rank. Neji was never actually a tuning. Like, Neji literally was never a tuning. He actually skipped the tuning rank. So, and he did that based off of his contributions during that arc, based off his feats. So if that's the case with Neji, why can't that be the case with Kawaki? There's already a precedent for it. Kawaki's achievements, his contributions to the entire world is far greater than anything Neji did in those tuning exams. So by that same logic, Kawaki should instantly be promoted to being the highest ninja rank, which is Jonin. Now, with that being said, I do kind of see why Naruto did that, because Naruto wants Kawaki to gain friends. That was pretty much Naruto's whole agenda for having Kawaki do this. And also, you could argue that, maybe Kawaki needs to get used to working with teams, since we already know that he's way stronger than most of the characters in the village, but he still has to, get used to taking orders from people. Well, technically, like I say, he should be a Jonin. He really shouldn't be taking orders from anybody, especially from people who are drastically weaker than him and drastically dumber than him, like Shukadai and Denki. And yes, Kawaki is smarter than Shukadai. The guy literally outsmarted two Aotsutsuki, and Aotsutsuki literally have thousands of years of experience. They've lived thousands of years. So yes, Kawaki is objectively smarter than Shukadai. I don't care what anybody says. Kawaki is actually one of the smartest and the most powerful. He's one of the smartest and most powerful characters in the entire village. Now, with all of that being said, I'm okay with Naruto, doing this in order to see if, Kawaki can become gang friendships with people in the village. Naruto did say that Kawaki does seem to be getting along with Shukadai's team. He said that at the start of the episode. But later on, towards the end of the episode, Shikamaru said, or Naruto said, well, he doesn't even seem to be getting along with Shukadai. He doesn't even seem to get along with Shukadai. Now, I do see why Naruto thought he would get along with Shukadai, because to me, it actually did seem like he was actually warming up to Shukadai and Inogen in the last arc, like during the whole thing with the car and stuff. They were actually like, they brought him some Tanaki when he was in the hospital. They seem to be getting along with Kawaki during, they just seem to be getting along with him. Now, the other teams, like he really never really interacted with the other teams besides Team 7 and Team 10. So, of course, he, wasn't used to operating with them and being friends with them. But, it did seem like he started to gain a friendship for, it did seem like he started to warm up to Shukadai and Inogen. Now, Shukadai, he actually seemed kind of, because basically, well, let me get to the other missions first. So, the first mission was him teaming up with Dinky's team, Team 5, and he fell asleep on that mission. He essentially thought the mission was pointless, but he also had to wake up early, so that could be a reason why he fell asleep. But essentially, he thought the mission was pointless. He said all of this for a panda, because their job was to basically, capture a panda. And since he fell asleep during the mission, that ended up leading to Metal Lee getting injured. Now, Metal Lee has been getting absolutely ridiculously nerfed in the recent episodes of the anime. Ridiculously. Like, he was nerfed in the tuning exams completely. Like, he's like in the tuning exams, he was supposed to just go rescue rescue somebody from, a forest. And him being one of the fastest characters out of his generation, obviously not including Team 7, he should have been able to easily hurry up and go rescue somebody. But yet Dinky could rescue somebody instead of Metal Lee. I don't get why the anime is downplaying, nerfing Metal Lee, because they had him get scratched by a panda. Like, he actually jumped up and tried to kick a panda, and the panda actually ate. He actually ate Metal Lee's kick. In other words, the panda was basically unaffected by Metal Lee's kick. Like, he didn't get knocked back or knocked down or anything. Metal Lee's kick should have absolutely one-shotted that panda. I don't get why the anime is nerfing Metal Lee. Metal Lee literally knocked back Rock Lee. Like, he actually knocked down Rock Lee. And Rock Lee's way stronger than a panda. So, what is going on with the power skill? I don't get it. Metal Lee has been extremely nerfed, and it's unacceptable how nerfed he's been. But anyway, so Kawaki fell asleep on the mission. That caused Metal Lee to get scratched and injured by a panda. Awabe ended up basically stopping the panda, and then Dinky used the lightning net to restrict the panda or whatever. So yeah, they basically completed the mission without Kawaki's help because he fell asleep on it. That was a D rank mission. Then Kawaki had another D rank mission where he was teaming up with I think they're team 15. Yeah. Basically Tsubaki and Wasabi's team. He teamed up with them, and their job was to basically stop a kid was running away from his house. He ran away from home, and their job was to basically go, stop him from running away, and they were not supposed to harm him during the process. Now, Kawaki stopped the kid from running away because the kid ran away from Kawaki, and Kawaki used his scientific ninja tool to stop him. Like he didn't actually hurt the kid or stop the kid he stopped the kid. Basically, he put his scientific ninja tool hand in front of the kid, and that caused the kid to be so scared that he passed out. So that's what happened with that. And then they ended up basically their whole team ended up being lectured and scolded by Naruto, and Tsubaki didn't like that. And based off of those missions, the people who was teaming up with Kawaki, so Team 15 and Team 5, they were complaining. They were complaining to Boruto about them thinking that Kawaki is not he's not suitable for he shouldn't be he's not fitting the role of being a shinobi, like he's not suited to being a ninja or something like that. So they were complaining to Boruto about that. They were saying that, and they actually told Kawaki, Dinky told Kawaki, something along the lines of, if you don't take your mission seriously or whatever, you can put your teammates in danger or whatever, something along those lines. So yeah, they were complaining to Boruto about, Kawaki they said Kawaki went a little bit too far, even though he technically, got the job done, and he actually didn't hurt the kid. He didn't harm the kid. So he technically fulfilled the mission without, he technically did follow the rules. He technically followed the rules and he fulfilled the mission. So there shouldn't have been a problem. They didn't say you can't scare the kid. They just said you can't harm the kid. Now the kid, I guess, I don't know if you would say he was mentally harmed. I doubt it. I mean, he was just scared and passed out, I guess. But he wasn't physically harmed. So Kawaki technically did his job, yet he still got scolded for it. And Boruto and Wasabi, she told Boruto, hey, you live with Kawaki, so you need to teach him what it's like to be a ninja. And Boruto talked to Kawaki, and he asked him, do you want to be a ninja? And Kawaki said, basically, ninja, you just got to complete the mission, right? And Boruto said, no, you got to, get along with people and stuff like that. So that was going on with that. Kawaki was thinking this whole ninja stuff was a drag, taking orders and being forced to socialize with people that he don't like. He thought that stuff was a drag. Now, so that was the case with that. Now, I thought it was kind of weird that he didn't, he said, socializing with people he don't like, because I thought he was getting along pretty well with Shukadai. Like I said in the previous episodes, he was getting along with Shukadai and Inojin pretty well. I think that's Shukadai and Inojin. Oh yeah. Also, he walked right past Shukadai and Inojin, and they offered to hang out with him, and he basically refused to. So I guess that's probably why Shukadai wasn't that. I guess that probably worsened their relationship a little bit. So I guess it was because of that, because he rejected their invitation to hang out with them. So I guess that's the case with that. Then Kawaki, he got a paycheck, and I thought that was going to give him a little bit more motivation to being a ninja, because now he can buy stuff himself. But it doesn't even seem like that was that motivating to him. I mean, it seemed like he liked the paycheck, but it seemed like he didn't really care that much. I mean, it didn't seem like it actually influenced him to becoming a ninja, just the paycheck alone. Because still later on in the episode, he's talking about how it was such a drag and stuff like that. So, yeah, that was the case with that stuff. And then Naruto was like, maybe the missions are just too easy for him. And, yeah, that's a logical conclusion, because think about it. Kawaki is way too powerful to be doing D-rank missions. And if he's doing something that he finds to be pointless, like capturing the panda, which he thought was a pointless mission, obviously that's not going to motivate him to want to fulfill the role of being a ninja. And that's not going to get him invested to being a ninja if he thinks he's just going to be doing these boring, pointless missions. That's obviously not going to give him the motivation he needs to becoming a ninja. So that was a logical and smart conclusion that Naruto came to. he was like, okay, maybe these missions are too easy, so we're gonna give him one final mission, and he gave him a C rank mission. And now the C rank mission is to guard this person who is going back to his home village, who was visiting the Hidden Leaf village, and he has a lot of souvenirs that he wants to they could potentially target him. So I guess that's the case with that. This seems like it's going to turn into another like sort of Zabuza like mission. I mean, obviously it's not going to be as long as the Zabuza arc based off of the summaries that I've seen for the anime. This mission is going to be wrapped up in like 2 or 3 episodes. Unfortunately, they could have made this a whole arc, and I think, you know, the anime needs to do longer arcs now. We're in anime original content. We're not, you know, we're not adapting the manga chapters right now. I think they need to do a long arc, like a 20 episode arc, and get all of the major characters involved, get Team 7 involved, get Kawaki involved. Just do a major arc. You know, they've had anime original arcs that were pretty long before, like the car actuation arc and the Misuki arc. Both of those arcs were about 20 episodes, I believe. So they can definitely do another anime original arc, and probably they should have it centered around probably the Hidden Cloud Village, because that's probably, I think that's the only village, the only one of the 5 great ninja villages that we haven't seen in Boruto yet. So maybe they should have it centered around the Hidden Cloud Village, or at least have the Hidden Cloud Village get involved. And yeah, have Kawaki and Team 7 be involved as well, obviously. I think we need another anime original arc that's a lengthy arc, honestly. But yeah, so the mission was Kawaki. So Kawaki is going to be a bodyguard to guard this guy who's going back to his home village. So that was the case with that. And Kawaki said he can still get, he basically said he was thinking to himself, like, I can get stronger without being a ninja. And we also seen him training in the episode, training his, you know, his ninjutsu, and, you know, he's training with kunai and stuff. So he's actually, you know, training and fighting like a ninja, and, you know, training like a ninja. But he thinks he can get stronger without being a shinobi, which is true. Like, ranks don't really mean that much in Naruto. I mean, Naruto was technically a genin when he fought Sasuke in the Final Valley. Him and Sasuke were literally the most powerful shinobi on Earth at that point, and they were both technically genin. So the ninja ranks really mean nothing in Naruto. I'm getting sick of people running around acting like these ranks mean anything. They don't mean anything. Like a lot of, especially the Itachi fans, they say, "Oh, well, he was a genin, or he was a genin at the age of blah blah blah." Or Kakashi was a Jonin at blah, blah, blah. Who cares? These ranks mean nothing. They basically mean nothing when it comes to strength. And even when it comes to intellect, they don't mean much. Because if these ranks were obviously, I mean, if these ranks were based on a combination of strength and intellect, then Kawaki would be a Jonin at this point. I mean, the guy is already Kage level in terms of strength and intellect. So if these ranks were solely based on how smart you are and how strong you are, Kawaki would be, you know, easily, you know, his rank would be easily a Jonin right now. So, like I said, when it comes to, like, the value or strength or, you know, intellect of a character in Naruto, these ranks mean absolutely nothing. But, so that's the case with that. And then, towards the end of the episode, Boruto was saying he was worried about Kawaki, and he was Kawaki actually ran away from the house because he said this is such a drag, because Boruto was basically pressuring him, like, hey, don't you want to become a ninja? Kawaki ran away. He knocked heard that they were arguing, and she said, "Look, maybe it's because of Kawaki. Maybe it's because Kawaki was a prisoner for so long, and that's why he has a hard time interacting with people." So that's actually a valid conclusion that Hinata came up with. She seems to be one of the few people who understand Kawaki. Well, Boruto, he does to an extent, but he's trying to pressure Kawaki on this whole ninja thing. And he's not giving, I just think Kawaki doesn't have the proper motivation at this point. And Naruto, oh yeah, another thing Naruto said was, you know, he wants to see how Kawaki, you know, interacts, and if he can team up and make friends with people outside of Boruto's team. That's why Naruto didn't send him on a mission with Team 7. Now, as far as Kawaki, as far as him, you know, interacting with teams outside it, I mean, well, Team 7, I mean, obviously he's friends with Team 7, so that's probably the case with that. Naruto wants Kawaki. I think Naruto's specifically doing this, and it's pretty obvious. He's doing this because he wants Kawaki to make friends with other people. And he sees that that's kind of hard for Kawaki to do. And he's already friends with Team 7 pretty much. So that's the case with that. And he already views Boruto as a brother. So, yeah, that's the case with that. And towards the end of the episode, Kawaki, he talked with Sarada. And Sarda was training the whole episode. She was training late at night, and she says she wants to become strong enough to protect everybody in the village. She's already strong enough to protect anybody in the village, but she wants to get stronger. And that's the case with that. And she had a little talk with Kawaki, and she said, yeah, she wants to be, she wants to, well, technically, I think she's already stronger than Naruto. But anyway, she said she wants to get, strong enough to protect everybody in the village or something along those lines, like the seventh. And Kawaki said, oh, so you're, training out here this late, even though you already became a Chunin. And that's what Sarda said. And then they started talking about missions and stuff. And Kawaki said, Sarda said, it's about, she basically was saying that, you need to make friends in order to, because we want to protect our village. That's why making friends is important or something along those lines. And Kawaki said he has no village is my village or something like that. He can't call any village his home or something, or he can't call any village his village. So, seemingly Kawaki hasn't. I thought we was like past this point. I thought it was pretty obvious that Kawaki accepted the village as his home, but it seems like he's still not fully accepting the Hidden Leaf Village as his village, which is kind of strange to me. Eventually, I'm gonna go back and binge watch this entire arc. I've technically already watched every single episode of the Boruto anime. I've literally watched every single episode of the Boruto anime. But I plan on going back and rewatching this entire Kawaki arc. Probably once it gets the English dubbed. Once the English dub gets caught up to it, then I'll probably just binge watching the entire arc. But I'm pretty sure Kawaki's already warmed up to the Hidden Leaf Village, so I don't get why he's still acting like it's not his home. But yeah, at the end of the episode, he went on a mission with Chocho and Sugadai. So that's what happened in the episode. Overall, I think this was a very well written episode. Now, another thing that was pretty smart about this episode is the fact that we just got done with the tuning exams, and this episode basically had a double purpose. So basically, it had two things that made it very, very smart for them to do. So the reason why this episode was very, very smart in terms of how it was written, I still got a minor problem with the fact that Kawaki's being required to do these missions, even though he's way beyond Jonin level at this point. Like, he's actually beyond Kage level at this point. And based off of his feats alone, he should be promoted as being a Jonin. I'm standing on that. I don't care what anybody said. Now, with that being said, Naruto is specifically making Kawaki do this so Kawaki can gain more friends. Now, with that being taking that into consideration, I understand why they're doing this. I understand it, even though I don't necessarily like the fact that they're doing it, because Kawaki should definitely be a Jonin by now. But anyways, aside from that little minor problem, I liked everything about the episode. And also, getting to what I was about to say, it was two things that made this episode very smart. Now, the first thing is the fact that Kawaki hasn't really interacted with any of the other teams outside of Team 7 and Team 10. So it was cool seeing him finally get to interact with the other teams. That was something I thought the anime needed to do to, show Kawaki interacting with some of the anime only characters, for example, because, these are characters, Denki and Wabe, they've been in the anime since basically the first couple episodes, and it's very important to see Kawaki interacting with anime only characters that's been around throughout the entirety of the anime. I mean, it's not really very important, but it's something that I think was very cool to see. I think that the anime should have did that, and I'm happy that they did that. Another thing is, it was pretty smart because this is right after the tuning exams, and it's cool to see the other tuning, lead their teams and go on their, we just had the tuning exams, and we had basically one member of each team that participated in the finals of the tuning exams get promoted to being a tuning. So it's cool to see them transition and see how their, how their teams is going, how their missions is going now that they are on missions by themselves and without their Jonin, captain, and they're the leaders of their own teams. And it's cool to see that, the ones who did get promoted to being a tuning, it's cool to see how they're, handling the leadership role of being a tuning and being the leader of their team. All of that stuff is cool. It's still very ridiculous that Kawaki is taking orders from characters that are way dumber and way weaker than them. That's still ridiculous. But other than that, the episode was fantastic. So, in terms of story, right now, I'll probably say between a 9.5 and a 10 out of 10. Like I said, I only have like that. I already mentioned my minor problem with the episode, so I'll give it a 9.9 out of 10. It's almost a 10 out of 10, but like I said, I got to take off just a little tiny bit because of that minor problem that I have. So 9.9 out of 10 for the story. For the art, I'm going to give a 9.5 out of 10 because I noticed like just one little weird thing about the art. Yeah, so actually, yeah, 9.5. And then the animation, I'll give it 10 out of 10. Didn't notice any problems with it. So overall, this was I'll say a 10 out of 10 episode of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. Another great episode of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. And I'm looking forward to next week's episode. And hopefully, I'm hoping that Kawaki actually does get promoted to being a Genin. And he actually officially becomes a ninja. I hope that happens. And I hope he ends up joining Team 7 and becoming the 4th member of Team 7. Now, will that happen? I doubt it based off of, what's going on in the manga. In the manga, it was never mentioned that. In fact, it was actually mentioned that he's not a ninja still in the manga. Now, of course, they could, they could omit that scene from the anime because that scene wasn't an important scene where that was revealed. It was pretty much a comedy scene, so they could take that scene out of the anime when they get to adapting the manga content. So it's not really that scene is not really a problem, to be honest. The scene where Kawaki puts on the headband in the manga, that's really not a problem. So I hope the anime does make Kawaki a Genin, although I doubt that they will have Kawaki become a Genin. But with all of that being said, that's all I got to say for this week's episode of Boruto Naruto Next Generation. If you guys liked the video, please drop a like. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and clicking that channel notification bell to be notified on all of my future videos. Drop a comment and let me know what you thought of my review and of the episode in the comment section below. And share the video all over the internet. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out. Every promise I've been praying for.